Hey there, Cancer. So this is me having a look at your relationships and connections in the next 2 weeks ahead, starting from the new moon in Pisces and taking you all the way through to the full moon in Virgo on the 14th of March. Now, let's have a look. So what I'm going to look for, I guess, how it's working in terms of your romantic partners and intimacy. And also pay some attention to what your friendships and social circles are offering you, and also your family dynamics. Like, how can you increase your pleasure in all of these aspects and areas of your life? That's what I'm going to be focusing on. So what I'm looking at here is just the chart that I used in the overall forecast. You'll see this chart before. You'd have seen it before. And this is the chart for the new moon. So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here at the time of the new moon. And in the 2-week forecast, the moon will come all the way around and it will end when it comes to here. That's where the total lunar eclipse in Virgo is going to take place. So you can see there's this kind of very strong energy between the 9th house here to do with cosmicness, to do with our ability to be expanded and to feel free and to be in a place of curiosity. And then at the end, we're really brought back to what we know, what we sense, what we know to be true. It's like our reality versus our expanded reality. I guess that's how I like to see it. So how does love fit into this? Well, the first things I want to focus on are the kind of love houses or the relationship houses. And the 7th house, this one here ruled by Capricorn, and you know the planet ruling it is Saturn. This is a key one, so I'm going to be looking at that. I'm going to be looking at your 5th house, which has to do with new romance or that feeling of freshness, where we're creating in such a way that we bring ourselves joy, deep levels of joy and upliftment. And for you, Pluto and Mars is assisting with that journey. So I'm also going to be paying attention to Pluto and Mars. And the final one is this 8th house here. This has to do with the baggage that lives between you and your partner, and also the ancestral baggage that you might have inherited along the way from your friends and from your family growing up. You know, the 8th house really shows where we're reluctant to transform. You know, it's a place of rites of passage, you know, where we go from one stage of life to another, to another, to another. Sometimes we get stuck in it. Thankfully, right here, I can see you've got Pluto going through this part of your chart for the next 19 years now. So that is definitely kind of upping the ante. It's like tightening the screw so that you really can't get stuck and complacent in staying put. It's probably creating quite a lot of pressure for you to increase, I guess, increase your life and sort of expand your life, and to rise up in consciousness. It's, I think, there to show you that anywhere where you've got baggage, relationship baggage, or anywhere where baggage and bad feelings are holding you back, anywhere where there's something shared between you and another person, where you feel controlled and negative, Pluto's here to shake that around in a big way. So yeah, Pluto and Mars, I'm going to be focusing on Saturn, and then also Uranus and Saturn, you know, because Uranus and Saturn are ruling this area. Don't know what's going on with my mouse at the moment, but it's going a bit wonky. So how do these fit in? How are these going to help you in terms of your love and relationships? One thing I notice is they're all very sort of slow moving, apart from Mars. You know, Mars has recently been retrograde from the 6th of December right the way through to the 24th of February. So he's just started to move forwards again. So most likely you've started to feel a little bit more like yourself, a little bit more linked into your usual levels of passion. And what I really like about Mars's current status is he's actually going direct in your 1st house. So to me, this translates that the joy of life is coming back. You know, that feeling of I'm strong, I'm not weak. I imagine he's weakened your senses and that feeling that you might have about your capability. I suspect Mars's retrograde through your own sign has kind of generated this loss in confidence. So now he's going forwards. This is a real signal that you're about to move on up. You're about to move forwards again. Now, Saturn being the ruler of your relationships and also the opportunity to deal with your baggage and to deal with sex within your existing relationships. Saturn's connection to Mars here is really helpful. This trine is beautiful. Now, Saturn, a lot of patterns here, a lot of these planets are in the ninth house, really showing that there's a really strong emphasis on moving beyond the narrative that you were raised in. So, for instance, this down here, the third house, is really showing where you belong or where you came from. You know, it shows your early childhood, your connections with your peers, your siblings, your neighbors, you know, your early schoolmates and stuff like that. It really shows the kind of narrative and mindset you were raised in. And yet right now it just feels like there's so much emphasis in the opposite of that. Like, how can you rise yourself up out of your original consciousness and your original context? You know, this is about learning and studying and opening your eyes and feeling different about things. So Saturn strengthening Mars, to me this is your relationships, and that like the return of innocence that this fifth house represents. I think right now your spiritual views and your desire to grow is creating this return of innocence, and Mars is leading the way. So anywhere where you felt stuck and needed to kind of let go of the kind of usual context, because that usual context is keeping you in usual and possibly stable, but possibly stagnant relationships. What's going on right now is there's a much higher potential that you see for your life, and also for your relationships, and also for your sexual relationship, your lovemaking. There's a much higher potential, and Mars is leading the way. And yes, it might very well be creating shivers down your spine as you hear that, because Mars is here to energize you. And of course, if your body's feeling energized, again, that's going to have a knock-on effect in how you are making love, how you're sharing, and like sharing affection and intimacy with the people around you. So now, if you're single and looking for a partner right now, again, I think Mars moving forwards is a huge bonus. You know, it's really getting everything flowing. And, you know, I'm excited for you from that perspective, because I don't think you're going to find yourself in a new relationship that is beneath you. You know, what's going on up here with these high, like these planets in this kind of high expanded awareness, is you're looking to have a great experience. And if you can't have that great experience with somebody, you probably just want to be independent and free. I completely understand that. You know, why would you engage in something that's not really going to fulfill you? So fulfillment, I think, is the real key here. And the fact that you are at choice. If it doesn't feel good enough for you, you're choosing to disengage. So I think that's all very well and good. Now, you know, Mars is supported obviously by the new moon. But what I haven't mentioned is this lovely romantic and highly aware aspect of Neptune and the North Node. Now, Venus, the planet of love and connection, and she rules in your chart. She rules how your friendships go, and also a lot about your home life. She's really sort of helping you feel stable with really good people around you. But Venus currently is about, well, from the second, is she's going to go retrograde. She's going to go back into this place of heart and soul and expansion. And when she goes retrograde, we tend to internalize our love and internalize our feelings and emotions about love. We're less active. We're less wanting to continue with something mundane. We get a bit nostalgic and pine for good things in the past. Sometimes old flames come back. And that can set our heads in a bit of a spin, because this, you know, we can always, you know, remember things a bit, you know, with rose-colored glasses. But, you know, there's no need to change your life necessarily. But Venus going retrograde is giving you the chance to reflect and recognize the person that you were when you were last feeling really contained and beautiful and serene in love. Now, that's not to say it's not going to happen again. It's not an exercise to bring pain to you. This is an exercise to show you like who you were when you were feeling supported by life and supported by love. And anywhere that you can bring that connection, like reconnect, what I'm really seeing is like, that's weird. I saw in my head, like sockets plugging into each other. Of course, there's a male and a female end. I'm not, making a political statement there, just to be clear. But, like this idea that there is a reconnection needed. And I think Venus going retrograde here, she's connecting you back into this soulful, fated feeling. Like I want, I've got the lyrics of, oh crikey, what they're called. I've forgotten the name of the band now. The Foo Fighters. They've got a song called Go With The Flow. And, they've got this, I want something good to die for, to make it beautiful to live. I want a new escape. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they're talking about, having that situation that just feels worthy of your time and worthy of your love. And Venus retrograde is absolutely working towards that. When she gets back to Neptune and the North Node, it feels like fate is coming in. This is a really, really great, really fantastic aspect. And, Neptune and the North Node only get together every, I can't remember how often it is. Is it 18 or 19 years? So very, very infrequently. It would only happen a few times in your life, 2 times maybe, according to how old you are. So Venus coming into this conjunction with them while she's going retrograde, she's going to go straight past over them again anyway. So there's this very strong Venus connection coming back. So for you, I really do think that what's going on is, how can you have a love that matches your intensity, your curiosity for life, your passion for life, your passion for something new, expanded, something's going to lift you up and really make you feel grateful to be alive. And that's what's going on. She is going to go forwards from the 13th of April, during which time, in between this time, Mercury is also going to be going retrograde. He goes retrograde from the 15th, actually in the next fortnightly sequence of events, but he's going to go retrograde over the same ground that Venus is. So there's a lot here to open you up to a higher way of being. And that is really, really relating to your relationships in life and love. In particular to your friendships as well, given that Venus rules your friendships and also your family. So I think you've got some really high ideals. Given that you've got such strong planets ruling these parts of your relationship, the newness and freshness and the rising up of love, and also existing love and how you deal with baggage, I really think that you are either strengthening an existing relationship in a really deep and meaningful way, or you're preparing yourself for your next relationship. I really don't think that things are that frivolous for you. I think you are absolutely seeking something very meaningful. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. Hope you found that useful. Let me know if you did. And yeah, hope you have a great time, and catch you in another forecast real soon. Lots of love.